Try this hidden Xbox feature. Xbox has some new surprises coming. Xbox has finally granted my wish. Alright guys, I'm whipping out the white table once again, and you know what that means. I have stuff to unbox, stuff to show off. Bam! Look at this. Now this has excited me for a couple of reasons because I've never gotten a box from the design lab here. So these are the special edition Redfall controllers that you can get in the design lab right now. I know the things that people are saying about Redfall, and I got my own opinions of it, of course, but guys, let's look at this objectively, okay? Let's look at the controllers. Let's open them up here. So here we have, So what they're doing with this whole design lab thing with Redfall is that you have 5 templates to pick from. One for each character in the game, and then one regular generic bite back controller. So this one, if you're not familiar with the game or anything that's going on with it, this one is modeled after a character called Jacob. He's like the sniper guy. He has a spectral raven that helps him scout and stuff. Honestly, he's a lot like Mordecai from Borderlands 1. And here on the controller, you have like a ton of nods to him throughout the design. But what I think is interesting about these controllers, what definitely stood out to me, is on the back here, on the battery cover, you have different options of what you want to put on the back. Right here, it's just Redfall, right? But they have an option that's like the city logo. They have one that's like a vampire fang. Really cool how they incorporated that into your choices. This one is just like the basic template, but what essentially they do is that you can choose what your character is, what front plate that you want, and then it kind of extends over to the grips right here. As you can sort of see, there's like a raven feather, and then on this side, it's more like ghost techie stuff, whatever you want to call it. But if you, for whatever reason, don't like, you know, the color of the bumpers, you're like, oh, I don't like the blue, I want to change it to charcoal or black, you have that option as well. And then you can even still change the color of the D-pad, the thumbsticks, the YBXA button, start. You can even take it further and be like, you know what, I want to put rubberized grips on this thing and this thing right here. And you know what? Regular bumpers, triggers, not good enough for me. I want the metallic finish. You can totally do that as well. Looking at it right now, I'm like, okay. From far away, this looks kind of good, right? It looks pretty nice. But when you're holding it in your hands, it's not like a blatant, oh, I'm gonna put a sticker on, but it kind of has that same feel. It doesn't feel as, I don't know, I guess premium as I thought it would. So now let's move on to the next one. This one is, I believe, I see, bam, right here. Now this one is a controller. Again, if you're not familiar with the game, this one I believe is modeled after a character called Devinder. His whole thing is that he is an author who goes and essentially like chases ghosts. And he has all this tech that is impressive, but it's kind of haphazardly put together. Again, you kind of had nods to his kit and the like duct tape on the side representing, you know, the kind of MacGyver put together aspect of his kit. And if you flip it over on the back, you can kind of see what I was talking about. They changed up the battery pack logo that they have on this thing as well. You know, I kind of like the red thumbsticks on these controllers. Maybe I'll design my own with like a red thumbstick variant. But yeah, again, far away, this looks pretty cool, but when you feel it, it's kind of like, is this a sticker? I'm not so sure. It's not, again, as premium as I thought it would be. And I know we all have our feelings about Redfall, but I'm asking you, dear viewer, to open your mind to the possibilities. I think it's really cool getting first-party stuff into the design lab. And it's something that I've been asking for a while. It's something that I've been talking about. Like, I mentioned it at the very beginning of us starting this channel. But back then, it was like, wouldn't it be cool if we had like some Master Chief designs in the design lab? Or if we had like Psychonauts designs, like you put like Master Chief's helmet engraved on like one of the handles here. I think this is a nice step in the right direction. Honestly, I could probably live with like a color template like this, but you know, just a regular gray faceplate with a laser engraving on the side or something like that, paired with this logo, whatever I choose on the back. But the fact of the matter is, if they did this for Redfall, I cannot imagine that they wouldn't do it for the other first-party games that are coming up, especially Starfield. I feel like that'd be an easy layup for them, a slam dunk, if you will. Not too long ago, we saw images of a Starfield controller. I don't know if it was real or not, but that could be a cool template or something that they could put out either in the design lab or as a standalone product. You know what also be really cool, probably never gonna happen, is if you can design your own Xbox in the design lab. That would definitely be something like, okay, you get like an engraving on it and that's it. But hey, a man can dream, right? And you know what, maybe I'm being too pessimistic about this. I was wanting something like this 2 years ago almost, and it happened. So who knows, maybe they'll add Xbox consoles to the design lab. They had a special edition Halo Infinite controller, although that was an Elite Series 2, but they also had a special edition Forza Horizon 5 controller. It wasn't in the design lab, but they did something for that game when it launched. Anyways, thanks so much to Xbox, to Bethesda for sending these out. It was really cool to check them out in person. If you're out there and you're watching this video and you're worried about the state of Xbox gaming, about Xbox games, what with all the Redfall stuff going on, what with the Activision Blizzard stuff being blocked in the UK, we officially have something to look forward to as fans. The Xbox Wire has officially announced, or re-announced I guess, because we already knew this was happening, but they have officially re-announced, reiterated that June 11th it's going down at the Xbox Game Showcase, and following that we're gonna get a whole showcase dedicated to Starfield called Starfield Direct. The Xbox Game Showcase is gonna be a part of like where E3 used to be, but now it's Summer Games Fest, Xbox Game Showcase. It's happening on June 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And yes, we knew that this was going down already, but they said some interesting things in this blog post that kind of got my attention, got my interest going a little bit. When it comes to Starfield Direct, I feel like Xbox, it's their moment, it's their time to really make a statement, what with all the drama that's been going on over the past couple of weeks. People are saying, oh, if Starfield isn't an absolute banger, 10 out of 10, masterpiece, classic, then Xbox is dead. I don't know if it's gonna be that dramatic, but there is a lot riding on Starfield now. And this Starfield Direct, this 45 minutes dedicated to exploring the world of Starfield, showing the world what this game is about, could really help in setting the tone and establish kind of an Xbox comeback in 2023. I know a lot of people are worried considering how Redfall launched. This could be Xbox's opportunity to dispel any of those worries. Now for me, the minimum that I'm asking for the Xbox Game Showcase is learning the release dates for Forza Motorsport and Hellblade 2. Both of those games made appearances in this most recent Game Pass ad that Xbox put up on their YouTube channel. And I personally don't know why they would do that unless those games were releasing sometime soon. At the showcase, maybe they'll do another Hi-Fi Rush and Shadow drop one of those games the day of. Probably not, because those games are a lot bigger, much more anticipated than Hi-Fi Rush, which I didn't even know the existence of until it dropped. But the interesting part about this post lies at the start of the second paragraph. They say, join us for some new surprises and first looks from our incredibly talented internal studios and our many creative partners around the world. Now, new surprises, that could encompass anything, right? A new Xbox reveal, a new controller, the Elite Series 3. The possibilities are endless, ladies and gentlemen. And then they go on to say, first looks from our internal studios. This is a little bit different from last year's showcase, the Xbox Bethesda Showcase, where they said everything that we're showing is coming out in the next year. Obviously, that didn't really happen, but it was mostly games that we knew about. There weren't any like crazy reveals like they've done in the past. But now for this showcase, they're saying we're getting first looks, we're getting reveals from internal studios and creative partners. That can encompass a lot of things. Personally, what I'm hoping for, and I've been asking for this for a while, new footage of Avowed. This is the fantasy RPG that Obsidian is working on. It's set in the Pillars of Eternity universe, and I'm just hungry for a new fantasy RPG. I'm sorry, y'all know my taste in games now. I love The Witcher, I love Skyrim, I love Elder Scrolls. Contraband could be cool to reveal as well. I mean, there's so many Xbox projects that they're working on right now that we haven't seen or heard of from a very, very long time. Some of them don't even have names yet, like Project Dragon. Either way, this showcase is shaping up to be very, very exciting. A blend of things maybe that we've known about already, like Hellblade 2 and Forza perhaps, mixed in with some new reveals, some new surprises. I'm hoping to get a better idea of not only the end of 2023 for Xbox, but what we have in store for 2024. Is it going to be a drought like 2022? Probably not. Hope not. They did this last year and they're bringing it back again. They're gonna do the Xbox Game Showcase Extended on June 13th. And that essentially has more in-depth interviews with team members and stuff involved in the game showed off at the showcase. And then they also give other updates as well. If you want your chance to try to see this thing live, see what Xbox has going on, make sure you register at the FanFest portion of the Microsoft website. You'll get more info about that there. So not too long ago, Xbox put a quiet and very sad end to a special promotion that they've done for a very long time. $1 for a month of Game Pass. I know a ton of people had a field day with that, and I mean, it's a steal, right? $1 for Game Pass Ultimate, I believe it was. Some people even took it a step further and did all sorts of crazy conversions and stuff, stacked it for years worth of Game Pass. Those days are behind us, however. But now Xbox has quietly launched a new program that lets you give out up to 5 free trials of PC Game Pass. For anyone who has a PC Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate, there should be a new button in the Game Pass section of the Xbox app that says Give PC Game Pass. If you click on it, you can give a 14-day trial to up to 5 friends. If your friend has previously had PC Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate, they do not qualify for this deal. They would have to sign up for another gamer tag, which is a little bit lame. They seem to have launched this service to coincide with Redfall's launch to maybe encourage friends to play Redfall together or play other multiplayer titles on Game Pass. I don't know how that's working out, but it's still a cool service. It's still a cool feature nonetheless. Hopefully it makes the jump to console soon, because like I said, it's only available for PC Game Pass. But to me, this kind of feels again like a sort of precursor to Xbox Game Pass Friends and Family. We know that they've been testing this thing for a while now. They even expanded the market that it's being tested in, but it still is MIA in the United States. I want the family plan, man. I do. I just want it. I don't know if they're worried that it's gonna lose them a ton of money. I wonder what the conversion would be to people who are just on Game Pass Ultimate or just Game Pass. How many, I guess, subscribers they would lose if they're all consolidated onto one plan. On the other end, I could see it kind of helping maybe boost the numbers of Game Pass subscribers. For example, me, I have Game Pass Ultimate, right? And then if I got 5 friends on who previously did not have Game Pass and they were like, I don't really want to buy another subscription or something like that, perhaps in that way, me bringing on 4 other people, and if a bunch of other people did that as well, it could help them boost numbers. But again, I'm kind of thinking okay, is this too good to be true? Game Pass Ultimate, 5 people, everyone's paying $5. That doesn't exactly sound like a moneymaker for Xbox or Microsoft. But it's too late now. They've been talking about it, they've been testing it, I want it. Next up, let's talk about Ravenlock. This is a game that is brought to you by the ID at Xbox program, which, if you're not familiar, is an arm of Xbox that brings indie games to Xbox consoles and to Game Pass. Xbox was kind enough to give me a review copy of this game, so big shout out to them. Ravenlock is about a young girl who moves to the countryside with her family, and then she's sucked through a mirror into a fairy tale land where she learns that she's a prophetic hero named Ravenlock, meant to free the world, free this fairy tale land from the evil tyranny of a queen. So yes, very Alice in Wonderland, very Coraline. There were times when I was like, this kind of reminds me of a Miyazaki film. I don't know, there's a giant fat cat that I was like, it kind of reminds me of My Neighbor Totoro. The main appeal of this game, the star of the show when it comes to this game, is definitely the world design and the environments, the different areas, the mushroom forest, the planetarium, the labyrinth, the mask mansion, the Victorian house. They all have this wonderful, charming, fantastical, fairy tale-esque flair. They're oozing with character. And it's deceptive at first, because you first get to this other world and you're like, okay, everything's kind of cutesy, this is more of an indie game, whatever. But as the game progresses, you start to see the evil, twisted influences that the Queen's power has on this land. And there's an area in this game where you go and you claim relics or something to progress in the game that straight up look like old school Final Fantasy stuff. It was gorgeous, man. I was completely taken off guard. I was very impressed by it. The combat, nothing special. You can slash with your sword, you can block with a shield, you can dash around, and your bumpers and triggers have different abilities. In the beginning, it's super repetitive because you have no ability, so I'm just going around and like going like this with my sword. As you progress, it's serviceable, but it's never great. The different bosses that they had in this game were very interesting in terms of their looks. They weren't exactly the most thrilling boss fights ever, but their design, I was like, whoa, okay, buff three-headed Hydra and a teacup, a mecha eagle, freaking pinata bison, like these were very cool designs. And the last boss is something straight up out of like Dark Souls, not in terms of the gameplay or the mechanics, but in terms of the look. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. The one beef I have with this game, and it's pretty big beef for me, is you cannot turn your camera 360 degrees around. And that's a problem to me for a number of reasons. Number one, like I said, the world is beautiful. The world is really interesting. I want to see it from all different angles. Number two, a large part of this game is looking for other stuff. Look for cinders to rekindle this flame so you can brew a potion. Look for flowers that shock this dragon so you can wake him up. And the fact that I couldn't literally like turn around and look was kind of frustrating. And also, a lot of these boss fights happen in an arena style stage, a circular stage. So if you're fighting this boss and he gets behind you, I cannot turn around to face him. He's like completely off screen, so I'm like, okay, I don't even know what he's doing. Hope he's not charging up an attack and is about to destroy me. I know this game isn't gonna be for everyone, and it's definitely not Xbox's savior after the week that they had, but I thought it was pretty charming, and you can beat it in an afternoon. It was like 5 hours long, maybe. It's great if you're looking for something quick to pad your gamer score. But again, in terms of the world design and the art direction of this thing, the soundtrack, the music was gorgeous. Coco Cucumber, which are the people who developed this, okay. Coco Cucumber? Yeah, all right, I'm gonna be watching some of your careers with great interest. If you wanna check it out for yourself, Ravenlock again is available on the Microsoft Store, and it's available on Game Pass as well. That's all the news I have for today, guys. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready, and we'll see you in the next video.